Happy New Year, Needham, and welcome to this January installment of What's My House Worth, where we're going to take a look at December's sales data. Ryan, thanks for coming along.
Thanks, Rob. Happy to be here.
Ryan McDonald right there. This is Rob Tickton. We're with Hawthorne Real Estate. We provide real estate brokerage services. We're also a design build company. But today, or at least for the next half hour, we are here to talk about December sales. And as we take a look and a quick peek, Ryan, what jumps off the page at you?
22 sales, Rob. 22 sales closed in December. These are single families in the town of Needham.
Yep.
We had an average sales price of $915,000, Rob. Down a little bit from last month of $993,000. Our average list price was down also. It was $934,000, down from just over $1 million last month. But the good news is our percentages are back up.
Okay.
So last month, if you remember, we had our sales were coming in at 96% of list. This month, they're back up to 97, almost 98% of list, and almost 96% of original list. And that's up from 93 last month. So those numbers improved, which we'd like to see. Mm-hmm. And our average sales price per square foot at $343. It's a good number, healthy,
consistent,
down a little bit from last month, but still in a really good spot. And our days on market, 51 days. That's, we sound like a broken record over and over, but that's really quick, especially this time of year. You
price things correctly, you move. Yep. Trailing 6 months, this will tell us kind of how the trend is going over the past 6, starting at the middle of the summer and into December, and we flatlined a little bit, but that's okay, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's what we typically expect to see in this time of year, and especially when we do get to the next slide, you'll even see it's more of a steady trend year over year for the months of December. So nothing really surprising in either of these two slides, Rob.
Right. I feel like last month we said November could be a mixed bag. December, a different story. It seems to be pretty consistent.
Yeah, it's a regular bag.
Yeah, it's a bag that's the size somewhere between 20 and 30 sales over the last 6 years. So 22 falls kind of right in line as we take a look at that graph and see how December stacks up. And that looks about right.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Okay. So let's take a look at the individual sales now, and 22 of them. We're going to start low and work our way up in terms of sale price. And our first one is 10 Mosley Avenue. We don't have too many Mosley Avenue sales that we've looked at over the years, right?
No, but this one's a sale, and it's not for a lack of effort either. I mean, this one, Rob, since between 2006 2010, this was on the market 7 different times.
Yes, I noticed that, and all right about in that same price range, right?
Yeah.
Those 4s, or they were trying to get 5s for a while.
Right. It's been about 770 days on the market. And then, lo and behold, goes on again in 2015, and boom, 7 days it's gone.
Yeah, 4 beds, 2 baths, a 15,000 square foot lot sells for $455. At least on paper, that looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, I mean, those of you who don't know where Mosley is, it's a side street off of
Charles River Street.
Charles River, thank you.
Correct. So that does it for Mosley. Next up is 191 High Rock Street. That's our next sale in terms of sales price. And this one seemed to be priced right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Sells very quickly, Ryan, just one day for $599.
Yep, just under 1,200 square feet on High Rock. One day on the market, Rob.
Yeah, nice house too. Move-in condition,
Yes,
just
sir.
a 1 bath, and I was on the first floor.
Right, and just upstairs is only 1 bedroom. The whole upstairs is a bedroom, and all the rest of the living space is on the first floor.
Right, move-in condition. That house located on High Rock, in between Richardson and Curtis. In case you were wondering, you questioning that? Emerson,
Yep.
excuse me.
There you go.
Emerson. I always get Emerson and Curtis confused.
Okay.
And it's only because I knew somebody who was named Curtis who lived on Emerson.
Okay.
Too much information.
Yeah.
91 Henderson Street.
You got that one down.
Yes, well, fortunately, Curtis's last name wasn't Henderson. Not too far from town, and some nice pictures on this one, Ryan.
Yeah, Rob, this one, I think one of my favorite parts about this house was the backyard. Nice deck, good outdoor space in the backyard. Not overly sized. It's only 9,000 square feet and change, but a nice bungalow. And this house, had some updates. So I think you got a good number for at 621 because it's not overly large.
Can we call 91 Henderson walk to town?
Yes, I was. It's a good point. I mean, it's walk to Newman, it's walk to town. It's an underrated location.
Yeah.
Very quiet street.
I guess it depends where you are in Henderson because it
True.
goes pretty far off.
True.
But yeah, I agree. I think it's a good deal there. 87 Evelyn Road. This one sells for $670,000. Backyard abuts the train, Ryan.
Yes, it does. You have the train running through the back of the property. This home sold for $350,000 in 2002.
Whoa.
How about that?
That's a long time ago, though.
It is, but that just seemed like a low number.
Yeah, and it's good research.
Thanks.
Anything else before we move on? Assessed value, I mean, it's $100,000 less.
Yeah.
So
So they have some work to do down in the old town hall.
Right. Too bad for the buyers of the house.
Right.
43 Glover Road is next up. This one located on a cul-de-sac. It abuts conservation land. It's in the Hillside School District, Ryan.
Yep, this one selling for $700. It sold for $525 in 2010, but it's been updated significantly since then, and the price reflects it.
All right, there you go. Next up is 9 Grosvenor Road. And we're starting to creep our way up, but still just in the sevens here.
Yeah.
Sells for $700,000.
Yeah,
And,
and looking at these two kind of side by side, I mean, Grosvenor's a little bit bigger. You know, it's got 4 beds as opposed to 3, but Glover was in I think more updated condition.
right.
You know, and Glover on a cul-de-sac, Grosvenor in Broadmeadow, and you can see all of these differences when you're trying to price houses, and lo and behold, they come out at the same number.
Right.
So it's interesting how this market works.
Different school districts.
Yep.
That one is just one house in from Greendale.
Yeah, and I think Grosvenor, I think it was under agreement 3 times, and I think that might have affected its ultimate sale price. The seller was ultimately willing to accept maybe a little bit less.
So maybe a deal of the month candidate.
It was in the mix.
It was in the
So
discussion.
good job for the buyer.
So just one house over is Greendale, which happens to be the street of our next listing, 587 Greendale Avenue. This one actually right around the street from, right around the corner from Highgate, I should
Yes.
say. And a nicely finished house, Ryan.
Yeah, another one that's in moving condition, reflected in the price. This one being on Greendale here is it's set back quite a ways from the street.
Yeah, it
So
makes a
it's-
difference.
Yeah, it totally makes a difference. Purchased for $465 in 2011 and turning around in the 7s. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's
But quite a bit of work done, as you mentioned.
right. And a hot market.
True.
So those two things work together
They never hurt.
to the benefit of the seller. 108 Lindbergh Avenue is the next listing. And Ryan, I got to say, it goes on for $799. That's a pretty good reduction, right? Or a pretty good discount, I should say, of $69,000 over just 15 days.
Yeah, and this one ultimately it went to a developer.
Yes, it did.
So it may stand to reason that the seller was looking to catch an end user, but the house in the property appealed a little bit more to a developer, especially at that price point.
Also highlights the fact that a seller is often maybe willing to take a little bit less in light of the fact that there are so many other benefits that come with an offer from a developer. No inspections.
Contingencies.
The deal is done once the offer is signed, essentially. So yeah, $730, which is a good price for that piece of land right there. I would say
It
11,000
is.
square foot lot on Lindbergh.
Yep. I would
Walk to
agree.
Mitchell.
Walk to Mitchell.
Speaking of walk to Mitchell,
Okay.
next listing, 53 Hawthorne. It's I tell you, you want to take another lesson off of this listing. A $44,000 price reduction goes a long way,
It sure does, Rob.
because this was on the market for $799, had a reduction, and then within days, boom, under agreement.
Yeah, I liked the first floor of this house better than the second floor.
Agreed.
The first floor had an addition off the back, some open space, especially for a cape, which you don't always see, and some nice space in the basement. And it looks like the owners spent most of their time updating the first floor of the basement, and not as much so on the second floor.
I would agree with that. It's funny how sometimes you walk through a house and you have your first impression, and then as you walk through the house, that impression does change.
Yeah.
And sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. But I would agree with Hawthorne. You walked in, you're like, whoa,
Right.
I like it.
Yep.
And then when you walked out, you didn't quite like it as much.
Right. So I think there's just maybe do some sprucing up upstairs, and then bingo bango.
And again, it shows nothing wrong with overpricing a house as long as you react to the fact that it's overpriced and you're aggressive with the price reduction. Then it doesn't hurt you.
Right.
26 George Agate Road is our next listing, Ryan, and there you go, some red writing.
Deal of the month.
Deal of the month for the
Buyer. Ring the bell.
buyer, correct. And the reason is I think this listing had a lot of things going for under $800,000. You're talking about a nicely finished house. You're talking about 4 beds, 2.5 baths, over 2,000 square feet, quiet road, good commuter location.
Train affected though.
Train affected, but not right abutting this particular lot like
Okay.
we've seen on previous listings. Quiet street, good commuter location. I just feel like it had a lot of the things that people look for
Yep.
at a price tag of under $800,000. You
Yep.
just don't see that very often.
No, I would agree.
So, and look, the original list, $859. So,
Yes,
not
buyer.
that always means anything, but
No, but I mean, buyer probably feels pretty good about where they landed there. So yeah, I would agree.
and I think they should feel pretty good.
Okay.
So there you go. 43 Richardson Drive. And I feel like a lot of these we do Richardson every other show, it feels like. We have a
Okay.
listing on Richardson. I feel like they all fit a very similar description.
Well, it's very private.
Very private, big lot, kind of an oversized split.
Yeah.
Needs updating, or is dated, I should say.
Yeah, this was a very well maintained home. Does need, it could use some modernization, but
Yep.
it's certainly in move-in condition. I think this is actually a pretty good price for the buyer, all things considered. I mean, you're getting an acre. It's so private, and like I said, you could move into this house no problem. I mean, maybe you want to update a few things here or there, but I like this for the buyer.
Magnificent home for entertaining and family gatherings, Ryan, according to the
That's
listing
what
sheet.
what I hear.
So it sounds pretty good to me. Over on 36 Lawton Road, you will find the next listing. This, of course, is near the golf course. A lot of space in this house, Ryan. 2,700 square feet. Big lot as well, sloped down.
Yep. The 2,700, it's 2,662 on public record. I mean, anytime you see measured on the listing sheet, you always look.
Right. And you're wondering who's measuring.
Right. But that's always something that you can ask, and oftentimes it is measured and it's right, and they're just getting it right. So great.
So my impression walking through this house, Ryan, dated. Certainly, there were some things about the layout, some choppiness. I saw this house is a house for somebody who had a budget of $1.2 million.
Okay, so it needed that much, you think?
I do. I mean, needing that much and, wanting that much are two different things, right?
So you could get by, you don't have to put that money
You could move
into
right into it.
Sure.
As you could really, essentially, you could move into all these houses, right? But I thought the potential was there. The canvas was there to do a lot of really neat things to it. I just think it would have cost a lot of money to do it. But at the end of the day, when you were done, you'd be into it for a number that would probably be very close to what it was worth.
Yeah.
So for that reason, that's why I kind of saw it as a 1-2.
Right, because the boxes there, the bones are there, 5 beds, almost 3,000 square feet in a good location.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good street and bigger lot.
I hear you.
Okay.
Roger that.
Yeah, so there you go. 366 Cedar Street's the next listing.
Oh boy.
Ryan, you got some thoughts on this? Deal
oh,
of the month.
oh.
Technically.
This is kind of a head scratcher. Huh. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. The house itself, I mean, it's a fine house. I don't think that really has to do with really what we're getting at. This one, if we go to our next slide, is 366 Cedar Street. It's a price odyssey, Rob.
Okay, explain, Ryan, please.
Well, I mean, we started out at $939, Rob, and then after 40 days, we had a price increase.
Okay. So you don't see that very often.
No. That's a little unorthodox. To $949. 80 days later, change broker, big price reduction, $899.5. Boom. Wow.
Okay.
Doesn't sell. 42 days later, we're going to change brokers again, and we're going to go right back up to $949.
So what you're saying is instead of one price increase, there were two. We very rarely see one, and you're saying there are two.
No, the double-headed price increase is rare.
Yeah.
It is rare. And then
Bigfoot.
we had a reduction to $919, and then lo and behold, we sell at $875, which is 25 grand almost under that $899 where we were for 42 days without a buyer.
Okay.
So you just, you don't see that very often. It's a little unorthodox, maybe a little bit of a roller coaster ride for the seller, certainly for the brokers involved.
Yeah.
So it's my deal of the month, only almost highlighted. I don't really have a winner here. I don't know who got the better end of the deal here.
Sometimes there are no winners, Ryan.
Right. So that was interesting. So we thought we'd bring that one out.
Well done. Excellent. 52 Holmes Street is the next listing. Sells for $916,000. This one is short stroll too.
Mitchell.
Correct. Not a lot in the way of a backyard, but a lot of space in this one, right?
No, it's a good sized lot, but as you mentioned, it's sloped, and it sells for quite a bit over asking. So I thought I got a good price.
All right. Speaking of good prices, or at least in my humble opinion, good prices, 22 Glen Terrace was a deal of the month contender for me, Ryan, because this next listing, well, it seemed like a lot of space in a pretty good location that was priced at $1,175, and then ultimately sold at $1 million.
Yeah, and they had a nice price reduction to $999, which I think was very effective. This house, if you don't know where this is,
Yeah,
I mean,
which a lot of people don't.
It's like tucked in, nestled comfortably behind like Pollard, kind of back off of Bradford to Glenwood, and then you get to this Glen Terrace. It's kind of you have Pollard there, but you're kind of on your own. It's kind of nice. It's a little private, quiet little spot.
But it's not quite as nice and private as it looks in the picture. That picture is fascinating.
Right.
to me.
Well, that's the thing. Like they've got aerial pictures. Like
Well,
that's a drone. It's got to be a drone.
It looks like the house on the side of a mountain.
Well, that's true. Like nothing else is in the mix.
Right.
But you've got these aerial pictures, and then the inside pictures were not comparable to the aerial pics. The
Something
aerial pictures
about-
were like, wow, those are great. And then you look at the inside pics, and they were taken with, with maybe the same camera looking through the window.
It wasn't my deal of the month, but it was arguably my picture of the month.
Right.
So, although
well,
we do have,
hold
sorry,
on
not
here.
yet. Runner up, 40. We'll get to that in a little bit.
I can't wait. I just want to see it again.
I know. 40 Burnside Road is our next listing. Nice house, 19,000 square foot lot.
Big lot.
In Mitchell.
Yeah,
So that's-
corner lot, corner Concord. This is a really, really nice addition. This is a cool house. 5 days on market, good price.
Yeah, and some really nice pictures there. 65 Whitman Road is the next listing. This one is, it was on for 1,275 with another broker at one point. Then it was off. Then it went on a 1,175, which seemed to, at the end of the day, be the right price.
Yeah, and this one, a lot of house for the price, Rob. I mean, depending on which square footage you want to go with, the measured one or public record, you're at 266 a foot if you're taking the measured square footage, 309 a foot if you're taking public record. But either way, it's a lot of house for the money, and it's been redone. You're moving right into this house. Nice house.
And a big lot in a quiet street as well.
Yeah, this is the second month in a row we've had a Whitman listing where it said the Needham's one of the most highly sought after locations. So Whitman is really, the PR department at Whitman is really, really churning along. So
Yeah,
good
it's
work.
good. Send in maybe an advertising campaign.
That's right.
776 Webster Street. This is a house that sold for 1,049 back in 2014.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, not that long ago at all. Some work was done.
Yep.
Definitely some renovations that took place, but it sells for 1,175. Nice house.
Yeah. The only thing I noticed that I didn't love, really well done, was the washer dryer in the master bathroom.
Yes.
I just don't know that I would necessarily jump up and down for that. It was a really nice washer dryer, stainless steel, really cool, fit nicely, tucked away, well thought out. But I don't know that I'd like that.
Yeah, I'd rather have it there than in the basement.
True. Right. And so there's always compromises, but that was the one thing that I was like, because otherwise, really cool bathroom, walk-in shower, no glass. It was really neat. Just didn't love this washer dryer in there.
What were you like when you saw it?
I don't remember. Yeah.
29 Curve Street's the next listing. This one is technically a detached
Townhouse?
Ryan. I don't know, what does that do to value when it's its own home?
Right.
But I mean, it's sharing master insurance bare minimum with another house.
Right.
So this one sells for 1,228 as a detached townhouse. If it's just a single family, what's the sales price on this house?
Yeah, I don't think you're devaluing it too much by that. I mean, it's a townhouse in name only, which is why, by the way, we're featuring it on the show because, as you know,
we stay away from townhouses.
Yeah, we're not doing townhouses, but it's again, I think it's really a townhouse by technical aspects only.
Yeah, it's got to be something. There's got to be some number. Has to be.
7?
Yes, you nailed it. 7. Okay, 66 Laurel Drive is we have a lot of Laurel action. I feel like Laurel is a street.
You can't say that about every street.
Okay, well Laurel, I will say this about Laurel: it holds its own.
Yeah.
Laurel is a street that is a lot of people like to be on that street.
People love Laurel.
They do.
Yeah, it's surprising that so many people are selling their houses on Laurel.
Right.
Maybe they know they can just get top dollar for them.
Probably.
Yeah.
Good marketing campaign on Laurel as well.
Yeah.
Sells for 1,375. Any thoughts on this one? Smaller lot.
Yeah, it's 8,000 square feet, the lot. So it's a decent sized house on that lot.
Right.
But it's tight. I mean, the builder purchased it for $558.
Right.
So a sellout at 1,375. That spread is not tremendously wide, especially given the size of the house that was built.
We are approaching some bigger numbers.
Yep.
Second to last one is up, which is 144 Fairfield Street. Now this is a Cape, a big
style.
Cape.
Yep.
5,000 plus square feet, a first floor suite.
Yep.
Which is, it's a niche, and some people are really looking for it. And I think in terms of this transaction, it served the seller well.
It did. And it was built in 2003, Cape style, as you mentioned. What I really liked about this house, Rob, was the covered patio in the rear.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really well done, and it highlights the nice flat backyard.
Okay, 36 Gage Street is our big seller. This one sells for 1,499. The next highest price house to sell on Gage was sold for $865,000.
I remember that house didn't have any upper cabinets.
Oh my gosh, you stole it. That's
Really?
what I was gonna say. That was the comment you made back in
Wasn't it-
2013. It
was just really, you walked in the kitchen and you're like, wait a second,
Something's
something's
missing.
missing,
Yeah.
and there were no upper cabinets.
I'm sure our viewers remember.
Yeah.
It was 2013. They
So
watch.
That's a lot of fun for everybody.
That wasn't a bad house either. if
No,
I
I
remember
liked
correctly.
it. A cool property. I think we're talking more about that
The old
property
house,
than this
right.
one. Mostly because neither one of us saw this one.
Right.
What?
Sorry, 36 Gate Street. But
Well,
you
that's what
look great.
happens when you sell during construction. We don't get to go in and take a peek.
Right. Walk to town, 20,000 square foot lot. There you go. See?
Yep,
I mean,
that's a big lot. That's a nice size lot.
That's a really nice size lot.
Yeah.
Sneaky walk to town.
Yeah.
One of our favorite expressions on this show. Market snapshot. So as of January 4th, 2016, what does the market look like? And not a ton, not a lot of homes on the market,
You got
Ryan.
less than 40 homes on the market right now.
I don't remember seeing that.
No.
I wonder if that's almost in response to last winter where people are like,
I bet it is. Because people are now more worried about, am I going to get ice dams? Am I going to hunker down? So it's kind of button up and wait.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how things develop with this whole winter of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's going to be cold.
Yeah, Farmer's Almanac says it's going to be cold.
What do they know?
Everybody has an opinion about the winter.
Especially those farmers.
Yeah, and those meteorologists.
True.
Okay, so next slide. I believe we had for the next slide, we got the schools, right?
We do, Rob.
Okay, don't put it up just yet.
Okay, sorry.
This is, everybody looks forward to this slide, so I'm
I
going to
know.
build it up a little bit.
Okay.
As everyone knows, for the January installment where we talk about the December shows, we like to put a slide together that breaks down every sale of the previous year, so in this case 2015. We like to break it down by school district. A lot of people ask when they come into town, what are the good school districts? Well, as real estate professionals, we're not really supposed to give our opinion because we don't know what a good school
And
is.
you're
and what
splitting
a not.
hairs.
That too. So this is actual data that shows what homes are selling for per school district. So with that in mind, did I miss anything or do you like that lead in?
No, I think that just about covers it.
I did all right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's bring in the slide, and we're going to start on the left and work our way to the right. So school, those are the 5 elementary schools, Ryan.
Yep.
We did it alphabetically,
Right.
so as not to show any favoritism towards any schools. Not that we would anyway.
Again, you're splitting hairs, Rob.
Sorry. The next up is the number of homes that sold in each school district. Ryan, no surprises here. Newman, the biggest school district
Right.
by far.
Yep.
And as a result, the most number of homes to sell in a school district is Newman.
Yeah, I mean, the takeaway for me there is just the consistency year over year. Like Elliott had 51 this year, 52 last year.
Right.
Hillside 44 this year, 45 last year. It's crazy.
Right. And
Newman 105. It's amazing how they distribute almost on a pro rata basis. It's pretty interesting.
And in total, I believe it's about 30 more homes sold in
Yes,
2015 than
Yeah,
2014.
336 to 300, I believe, was the total.
Right. So next up would be sales price, and I would say no surprise there either, Ryan. Although it's not necessarily consistent with last year, but
No.
Newman does have a lot bigger lots
Right. I mean, Newman had
or estate.
Newman
type
had
homes.
13 sales over $2 million this year, versus last year there were only 3. In all of Needham, there were only 3, and 13 in Newman this year. The biggest drop really was Hillside, as you remember from last year, where the average sale price was over $1 million.
Yeah.
It was right there with Broadmeadow, and that's a result of 18 sales in Hillside last year over $1 million. This year, only 9.
We haven't seen 3 average sales prices of over $1 million yet.
No.
Almost saw it this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see
Mitchell
for
was close.
2016. Yeah,
Mitchell
Mitchell
was
was close. Dollars per square foot. So Hillside.
Yeah, and it's a product of look at. I mean, I know you don't want me to do this, Rob, but look at the square footage. For Hillside, it's 2,300 this year. Last year was over 3,000. So it just stands to reason that your price per square foot is going to go up. But it is still surprising, given that the average sale price went down so significantly, but yet the price per square foot is the highest.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Mitchell holding steady. 368 was 370 last year. All of the other districts increased, except for Newman actually went down from 354 from 359. But still, those numbers are, I mean, staggering.
Yeah.
So
Translates to a lot of money.
it does. It translates to a really, really busy market. And the next column though, Rob, is where
It's grabbing you?
It really
Speaking to you?
Nothing sums up a hot market than the days on market. Like, I mean, look at Mitchell, 35 days. I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It's fast.
Yeah, so it's and that's down a bit from 39 last year. Broadmeadow experienced a big jump though. They were at 32 last year and up to 57. So it's taking a little bit longer to sell your house in Broadmeadow, but the good news is you're selling it for more money.
All right, and square footage. Anything? Well, we already talked about Hillside. Seems to, for whatever reason, in 2015, on average, the homes that sold in Hillside were smaller than last year, or smaller than 2014.
Yeah, by almost 1,000 square feet, which is sort of odd.
Yeah, that's.
But I mean, that speaks to last year had that mix of 18 sales over $1 million. Those homes are generally larger. and that's why we're seeing Newman at almost 3,400 square feet. You know, you have a lot. I don't have the number in front of me, but I mean, you had 13 sales over 2 million, and quite a bit more over 1 million. Those again speak to larger homes, larger square footage, etc.
Okay, so Ryan, if people want to take a look at this slide or have any questions, or want to take a look at the slide, where can they find it?
You're going to find it in our blog, which is on our website at www.hawthornere.com.
Okay.
We will also put that out on social media, so you'll be able to find it without looking too hard.
Yeah. Or you can just take a picture of your screen.
That's right. You can just pause, just leave it on to perpetuity. Or you can always contact us. We can send it to you.
And we'll give We'll give contact information for us a little bit later. But first, arguably the thing we've been looking forward to the most, even maybe more so than the school slides. Right?
We get pretty giddy about the school slide, though.
So we do the listing picture of the month. It's the little thing that we like to do. We try to find an entertaining listing picture for whatever reason. And I think we came up with a pretty good one for the month of January.
I don't know how we're going to top this one.
So there you go. Look at this guy.
I mean, Mike, I have a couple questions.
Okay, I'll try to answer them.
Does that guy come with the house?
Okay, good question. I'm gonna guess no.
Is he bringing in or removing the Christmas tree?
So that to me is a very interesting question because I don't think do most people pick up their tree while it's in the.
I don't know. He's either really excited to be bringing it in, like he's in the spirit, like yay, it's the holidays, or he's like, at the end of the holidays, you're like, we gotta get this thing out of here. It's the needles are everywhere. It's time to go.
You could probably tell if he's bringing it in or out by how many needles are underneath the tree.
The other variable is that it could very well be a synthetic Christmas tree.
No way.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have another question?
No, I said I had 3, but I only had 2.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. But I love the enthusiasm, Ryan. I love the guy's energy.
Right.
And where do I sign up? I want to see that house.
I love that he slipped that past the broker into the mix for the photos for the listing.
It's genius.
And then the question we seem to ask every month: does that picture help sell the house?
Yes, and don't say it. You think of your answer. I'll think of my answer. It's a yes or no question. Does this picture help sell the house? Do you have your answer? 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
No. All right. So. It's worth putting it in there.
I love a little enthusiasm.
I mean, maybe you buy the house, you get an autographed picture.
Yeah, that guy's a superstar. He's arguably the 3rd best performer on our show.
Right. Well, or 5th.
Right.
You want to give the contact? Take a sip, and then you can give us the contact information. If anybody wants to reach us for any reason, whether they have any questions about the show, they want to know who that gentleman is carrying the Christmas tree, whatever you want, you can reach us. How, Ryan?
You can give us a call at 781-707-6564. You can also send us an email to rob.ryan@hawthornere.com.
Okay. Any thoughts as we embark on 2016?
Bundle up. We're just getting started. Single digits tonight.
Yeah, maybe we'll wear winter coats for next month. Maybe?
Maybe.
All right.
We'll see.
We will see. But that will do it for now on What's My House Worth. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you again very soon.
Good night, everybody.